Well, 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 thanks to Kaz's Twitter, once again we have a silhouette teaser for 3 vehicles coming to the game next week. I'm personally much more excited for these 3 from the look of things than the prior 3. They weren't bad, but these ones are pretty wacky and I like that. And the implications of one of these vehicles in particular is actually more significant than the 3 cars themselves. Because for those of you who missed it, and trust me, this doesn't seem related, but it really is, I not long ago covered a video wherein some vehicles were discovered in the game's code. The credence that we gave to that video was based on the fact that the Suzuki Vision GT was leaked in that list before we even knew that there was a Suzuki. So that was a pretty good piece of evidence. However, I only went into about 7 cars in that video. Subsequently, a longer, much longer list of cars to come to the game was quote-unquote leaked and sent to me by various people in various places, but I didn't cover that because I didn't have the same kind of confirmation. You know, it wouldn't be difficult, for example, for someone to just add the Suzuki to the list to make it look more legit. Now, though, one of these 3 vehicles definitely gives more credence to that list, and it's the bottom right. Now, we're going to work through all 3. Of course, the top one was already confirmed now, as we know from that leak. The iconic, legendary Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak Special. Of course, a staple of the Gran Turismo franchise, possibly the most iconic car, maybe, of all of Gran Turismo, if you just ask a random player. They'll probably just call it that crazy big wing red thing. And of course, this is going to be stupidly fast in the game. It is, thanks to that leak, going to be a legendary dealership vehicle. So chances are probably a couple of million credits, I would imagine. Maybe 1 to 2.5, I would expect personally. Then in the bottom left, we have the racing iteration of the Suzuki. I believe I spoke about this coming to the game in another video. It's nice to see how the Suzuki lineup is rounding out more in the game. We've got, of course, the really good Swift race car. The Swift road car is pretty nice as well. And, of course, now we have the Vision GT, which is a nice little sports car. And this one, which is going to be the Group 3 variation of that same Suzuki. The bottom right, though, is an interesting one, because if you are not familiar with the leaked list, this one could be open and up in the air. But now that we know that that second list, thanks to this exact silhouette, does have a lot of credence, and I am going to be covering it probably tomorrow on the channel, now that we can actually trust that list a lot more, this is a 1932 Ford. So a kind of car which we really don't see that much in Gran Turismo. I've said many times over many years, I wish we had more proper old school cars, vintage cars, antique cars, and of course more classics as well, but Gran Turismo has classics down pretty well for the most part. Even in GT Sport and GT7 there's a decent helping, but pre-1960 and even pre-1950 the numbers go down really quick. This one, of course, being much more of a custom, it probably won't have as much racing use. I mean, it remains to be seen, but chances are. But it will just be a really cool little driver's car, and something which will look great in photos at the very least. Of course, the Suzuki is going to be the standout for most, if not all of us, but I'm personally really looking forward to that little custom Ford as well. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing how modified it is. I don't recall whether or not this one was a SEMA GT award winner or not. I don't think it was, but I could be wrong. So ultimately, it's looking to be, in my opinion at least, 3 more interesting cars than the last update, of course, with the Suzuki being the standout. And as I said, stick around on the channel tomorrow, wherein I'll be doing probably a longer video than this, wherein I'm going to actually break down the entire leaked list, including the 7 that I already talked about. Now I think we can pretty safely say that we do know that vehicles like the Bugatti Chiron and the BMW M2 Competition are coming to the game in future. We don't know when, but the fact that these are here, again, ahead of schedule when nobody knew they were coming, you couldn't just randomly predict a 1932 Ford, as far as I'm concerned. You certainly couldn't predict a Suzuki Vision GT before it came out, so it's looking real to me. So stick around for that tomorrow, and until next time, I'll see you then. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.